In this video, I want to talk about water weight and not mistaking water weight with fat loss. And I also want to talk a little bit about the scales in general and how to manage the scales, how to not become emotionally attached to what the scales say, but also on the other hand, how important it is to weigh yourself to track your progress. When your goal is to lose weight, you will have to place yourself in a calorie deficit. In that first week that you eat in a calorie deficit, you may experience weight loss of 3 to 4 pounds, or in some cases even more. But your goal should be around 1 to 2 pounds of fat loss per week. And the reason that in that first week you may end up actually losing 3 to 4 or more than 4 pounds in a week is because of water weight. You may be holding more water weight because of carbohydrates, sodium, or even if you're supplementing with creatine. All of those things will hold more water. When you eat less calories, then you're going to lose some of that water. So what you don't want to do is think that you're going to lose 4 pounds every week, because in reality you've lost 2 pounds of body fat, or maybe even 1 pound of body fat in that first week, and you may have lost 3 pounds of water weight. And what you don't want to do is then think every single week, I'm going to lose 3 to 4 pounds, because it's not going to work like that.
Doc, been hitting awful hard, haven't you?
Nonsense. I've not yet begun to defile myself.
I was wondering if maybe you wouldn't want to go on over to the Crystal.
I will not be pawed at. Thank you very much.
This is one of the reasons why you can't always trust the scales, and the scales are a really good estimate, and I think everyone should use the scales to track your progress, but you can't always rely on the scales, and that's because some days you may have eaten a lot of sodium the day before and a lot of carbohydrates the day before and drank a lot of water the day before. Then you get on the scales the day after and you've gained 2 or 3 pounds, when in reality, if you weigh yourself the day after that, you're going to be back to the weight that you thought you would be. Taking your body weight every week is very important if your goal is to lose body fat, so that you can track your progress. But what you want to do is actually make sure you're weighing yourself 1 day per week on the same day under the same circumstances every week. This way you get an accurate reading. So this is what I do, and this is what I recommend that you do. I weigh myself every Sunday morning. So on a Sunday morning, I get up around the same time, within an hour or so. And the first thing I do is I get up, I go to the bathroom. Once I've gone to the bathroom, I'm in my underwear and I weigh myself in my underwear. This is very important, because if I was to weigh myself on Sunday in my underwear after going to the bathroom, and then the week after that I weigh myself without going to the bathroom and fully clothed, I'm going to probably be 2 or 3 pounds heavier with all my clothes on and not have been to the bathroom than I would be if I'm just in my underwear. This is very important, that you use the same circumstances every time so that you get an accurate reading. Some people may argue that they don't want to use the scales or don't have to use the scales, but it's very rare that that's the case, and it's because most people are either trying to build muscle, in which case you need to be gaining weight, or they're trying to lose body fat. So either one of those two things, you need to be looking at the scales to see if you're hitting your goal. Some people think that you can just set a goal and get there. It doesn't work like that. You need to always be tracking what you're doing. If you're not tracking what you're doing, you have no way of knowing if you're actually losing body fat. You could spend months thinking that you're losing body fat, but because you won't get on the scales, you really don't know whether you are or you're not. But the good news is, because they're your fault, it's something that you're doing incorrectly, then we can make the necessary changes that we need to get the results that you want. So let's talk about some of the reasons why the scales might be reading a number that you don't want. Usually it's a higher number than you want, and some of the reasons may be because you're not eating in a calorie deficit. The reason that you will know if you're eating in a calorie deficit is because you should be tracking your food. If you know that you need to eat 1,800 calories a day, every day, to be in a deficit, and you're not tracking your food, how do you know that you're eating in a calorie deficit? So that's the first thing, making sure that you're tracking what you should be doing and making sure you're actually hitting the correct numbers. Maybe you're not even hitting the correct numbers. If you want to know how many calories to eat every day, if you're trying to lose body fat, I recommend taking your body weight in pounds, multiplied by 10, and eat that many calories per day, and then you just write down your foods to make sure you know that you're hitting that number every day. You have to remember to account for everything. If you're using mayonnaise or any type of sauce or cooking oils, olive oil, and you're not tracking that, that can easily be 400 calories that you've just not tracked, and that's why you're not getting that desired result that you want at the end of the week. is through the actions you've taken every other day. The last reason that the scales might not be giving you the desired result is because you've hit a weight loss plateau. So if you've already been losing weight for a few months, you may have hit a plateau. If that's the case for you, or you believe that's the case for you, I have a video that I've linked on screen. You can watch how to break through a weight loss plateau. I go all the way through in this video exactly how to do that, if that's the situation you're in.